All right, fellas, I want to introduce you to Gary today. Gary's got about as many tools in his garage as a 47-year-old divorced mother of two, a tape measure he can't find, half a pack of zip ties, and a cordless drill still in the box he got 3 Christmases ago. That's the arsenal. Now, let me ask you something and really think about it. How many men do you know driving a truck over 10 years old who don't have a garage full of tools? You can't name one, can you? Because the old truck guy always has the tools, every single time. The two things, well, they tend to travel together. And they travel together for a reason we're going to get into. Now, Gary's got the new truck. Gary always has the new truck. Steady Eddie, every 3 years. Something shiny in the driveway. Spotless bed. Tow hitch that couldn't identify a trailer if the FBI was asking about it. And an empty garage behind it. And here's the thing. This video is not really about the truck. The truck is just the part you can see from the street. It's the tell, so to speak. Because somewhere back down the road, every man hits a fork. And the fork isn't Ford or Chevy. It isn't even really truck or car. The fork is, do you become a man who does things or a man who pays somebody else to do those things? Hold on to that fork. We're coming back to it because it explains Gary's whole life, and it might explain a couple of yours. Now, this segregation usually starts at about 16, first set of keys, and there's already a split happening. And you've seen it. One kid wants something with a bed on it. The other kid wants something he can throw some subwoofers in. The truck kid and the car kid. And over the next few years, more often than not, the truck kid ends up with a toolbox, and the car kid ends up playing video games or something. One becomes a utilitarian. The other one becomes a guy who likes techie or flashy things. Now, before the comment section lights up, hold on. Though they are becoming more and more rare every day, we can't leave out the hot rod guys. And I know a few car guys growing up. Civic parked at the job site, packed to the back seat windows with tools. Every one of them he owned. Drove a car or a minivan his whole life and could outwork anybody in the job site. Had the money for a truck, chose not to spend it. Didn't matter. He was a doer to the bone. Those are the rare breeds, though, and this video is not about them. So settle down back there, because the fork was never really about the vehicle in the first place. The vehicle is just the flag the man flies. The real fork, the one that actually decides who you become, is the one I already told you to hold on to. The man who does versus the man who pays. And Gary, at every single fork in the road, for 30 plus years, Gary took the exit marked easy. Now let me walk you through a Saturday at Gary's house. The lawn boys show up at about 9 a.m. 3 kids, a trailer, and 45 minutes to do a 1/4 acre Gary could knock out with a push mower and a podcast. But Gary, he doesn't own a mower. Why the hell would he, right? The toilet in the master's been running since Tuesday. That little hiss all night long. $14 flipper, 10-minute fix. YouTube would walk a deaf, dumb, and blind man through it. Gary calls a plumber. $90 service charge to jiggle a chain. The wife wants the bedroom repainted. Now a man with a roller in 3 hours on a Thursday afternoon handles that. Gary's got a guy. Oh yeah, Gary's always got a guy. A guy for the gutters, a guy for the Christmas lights, a guy for the oil change on the truck he's had for 8 weeks. Gary has outsourced his entire life to a rotating cast of men who do own tools. And he'll stand in that spotless garage, you know, the one with the drill still in the box, and explain to you that he's just not that handy. Not handy. Gary, you're 51 years old. Nobody's born handy. Handy is just a man who was willing to be bad at something for an afternoon. That's the whole secret. That's it. The guys you're paying, they weren't born with an inclination either. It just wasn't their first instinct to call somebody else. They, as my stepfather used to say, stood there and figured it out. And here's a little secret. They weren't worth a damn at it first either. And then next time, they were a little bit better. That's not a talent, Gary. That's a choice. And you've made the other one every Saturday for 30 damn years. Now, I've been pretty hard on Gary, and here's where I ease up a little bit, because if I'm honest with you, and this channel is nothing if I'm not honest with you, it's not entirely Gary's fault. Somewhere along the way, Gary lost the thread. Maybe nobody taught him. Maybe his old man wasn't around, or was around and never handed him a wrench, never said, "Here, you do it and I'll watch." Maybe the economy moved under his feet, and every year, easy was the only option that fit the week he was having. Maybe he just took the soft exit one too many times, and one day the soft exit was the only road that he really knew how to drive anymore. That's the part that isn't really funny at all, because a man doesn't decide all at once to become helpless. It happens one Saturday at a time. One I'll just call a guy at a time. One I'm not handy at a time, until the muscle's gone and he doesn't even remember he used to have it. Gary, he didn't fail some big test. Gary just drifted. He strayed from the herd, took the path of least resistance 1,000 times in a row, woke up at 51 in a nice house with a nice truck, a fat payment, and an empty garage, and this quiet feeling he can't name that he can't do anything. And that feeling, that's not weakness talking. That's the last piece of the man he was supposed to be, trying to get his damn attention. So if you've been sitting there this whole time feeling a little called out, good. That means it's not too late. The dead don't flinch, if you know what I mean. Here's the road back, and it's simpler than the marketing ever wanted you to believe. You don't have to rebuild an engine. You don't have to become the guy at the shop. You just have to stop calling a guy. One time. Pick the smallest thing, the running toilet, the flapper. $14, one video, 20 minutes with your sleeves rolled up. And you're going to do it a little wrong. It's going to take you an hour instead of 10 minutes. You're going to say a few words in front of your kids you shouldn't. And then it's going to work. And something's going to happen in your chest that you forgot was possible. The little hit of, I did that. Me, with my own hands. That feeling is the antidote. That's the thing the lawn care crew and the plumber and the painter have been quietly stealing from you, one invoice at a time. Not the money, the feeling, the knowing. And here's what happens to the truck, by the way. The man who starts fixing his own toilet, he starts changing his own oil. And the man who changes his own oil stops trading trucks in every 3 damn years, because now he knows the thing. He's got hands on it. It's his. And the paid-off truck in the driveway starts to feel a whole lot better than a shiny payment. The tools show up, the equity, the real equity you hear the fancy politicians talk about, that shows up too. The man shows up. That's the road. It starts with one flapper valve and a little bit of stubborn. Now, I want to close by pulling the camera way back, because if you've been with me on this channel for a while, you've met some guys. You met Bill. Bill had everything in his garage. Top of the line. Best of everything. The canoe trip. Every amusement park with the kids. Every overpriced gadget REI ever put on a shelf. Bill bought the best. Then you met Nate. Nate had enough gear to supply a small platoon to storm a national park. Poor guy will never once go on a real hike. Nate bought the identity. And now you've met Gary. Gary bought the new truck, Steady Eddie, every 3 years, paid a man to change his damn furnace filter. Gary bought easy. 3 similar yet different men. Bill, Nate, Gary. Status, identity, comfort. And here's the thing I need you to see. The one thing all 3 of them have in common. It wasn't their daddy. It wasn't their money. It wasn't even their zip code. Every one of them fell for the marketing. A machine locked on each one of them found the hole in the middle of the man's ego. The status hole, the identity hole, the comfort hole, and sold him something shiny to fill it. Different bait, same hook every damn time. So here's what I want you to do. Look around your job site, your office, your street, wherever you spend your days around men. You're gonna find a Bill. You're gonna find a Nate. And now you're gonna find a Gary. And if you're being honest with yourself, really honest, you're gonna find a little bit of all 3 of them in the mirror. I know I do. The marketing gets to all of us at one point or another. The only question that's ever mattered is whether you catch it in time. Next week, we follow the money. What Gary's trade-in treadmill actually cost him over 30 years. And the numbers, they're going to make you sick. You're going to want to see this one. Now, do me a favor. Go fix something small this weekend. Or big. I'm the highwayman. I'll see you at the next exit.